welcome to Sue Where Why What and to the second video of my director's cut on the experience of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. I went up via the Lemosho Route over 8 days a couple of years ago to celebrate turning 50, and what an epic journey it was. You can see the full video, and as it's been one of my most popular ones on the channel, I thought I'd take this opportunity to break the journey down. So if you're thinking of taking on this epic journey yourself, these are great videos, I hope, which will really help to put you in the shoes of what it's actually like. The first video charted the first 3 days, which was basically taking us from the start across the Shira plateau and my first brush with altitude sickness. This second instalment covers a number of really key things. Firstly, my second bout of altitude sickness. Secondly, reaching the highest point before the summit, which is Lava Tower, which also is where the merging of all of the routes come into play at Lava Tower. Then the infamous Baranco Wall and the Kissing Rock. And then finally, we finish the journey at Barafu Camp, which is base camp. So it's a fairly bleak but fantastic video, so I hope you enjoy it. The third video in my trilogy will be all about reaching the summit on the final day and then heading back down, feeling absolutely victorious. So here we are on day 4 of our climb up Mount Kilimanjaro. You can see it, barely see it actually, with the sun peering over the top of the summit there. So this is leaving Shira 2 camp and heading to Baranco Camp. Look at those porters, some of them literally carrying 20 kilograms on their heads. But we're feeling pretty proud of ourselves at this point. Heroes of the mountain, and an all-important and very handy solar panel on the back of Zaf's backpack there, and an ominous oxygen tank on the back of Humphrey's. So you can see in the distance there, I'm pointing at it, you can see Lava Tower. That's where we're aiming for. So Lava Tower is the highest point before you get to the base camp. It sits at 4,600 metres. So this is an important walk and important to see how you feel when you get to Lava Tower. Overall, it's 8 kilometres and 5 to 6 hours walking. And around semi-desert. But you go up to Lava Tower and then you go back down to 4,000 metres, which is where you hit the Baranco Camp. Now it was somewhere around here I remember getting my second bout of altitude sickness. You probably won't see any of that filming because the last thing I would have done is film it. But basically I just suddenly felt how I've only described it as an out-of-body experience. It's like my body was doing things, but my eyes and what I was seeing was just so completely removed from it. Really didn't feel like it was my body. So here we are at Lava Tower. It was weird because literally as soon as we got to Lava Tower, I felt fine again. This is where all the routes for Kilimanjaro meet. So everyone comes to Lava Tower. Some choose to camp here and stay the night. We just stopped for lunch and then went back down to Baranco Camp. So, day 4. We made it to Lava Tower, 4,600 metres. How are you feeling, Bridget?
I'm feeling good. Good.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit then, I have to say. Really breathless, felt like I had a bit of an out-of-body experience. But I've eaten a huge lunch and I'm all good now. And there's the mountain.
Oh,
Keeps disappearing behind the cloud. Good, thank you. How are you? Huh?
No headache?
No headache. No. No. Plenty of appetite.
Good.
Yeah. So the big things to watch with altitude sickness are whether you have a headache and whether you lose your appetite. Proud to say I definitely didn't lose my appetite apart from once. So on the way back down, it was pretty bleak looking. As you can see, once more, the clouds rolled in, the rain started, and out of all of the sections, the downhills were definitely the most challenging bits. And with the glory of getting up to Lava Tower, I think we always thought it would take less time than it did to get to the camps. And you kind of start to lose the will a little bit, I guess. Here's yet another beautiful camp in the former Baranco, and this is the absolutely ominous Baranco Wall. Every route for Kilimanjaro has to go up the Baranco Wall, and it is a thing of legend that you always hear that people are really scared to do. So now we're on day 5, looking at the task in front of us with the Baranco Wall. So to get to the next camp is Karanga, and it's 5 kilometres or 3 to 4 hours. That one sits at 4,050 metres, and it's alpine desert along the way. Okay, we're on day 5. We're in Baranco Camp. It's getting closer and still looks really high. And this is the Baranco Wall, which we're going to do today. And it's really hard to see, but there's some people climbing right the way up there. I don't think you can capture it on the film. I've lost them now. Really good pointing out there, Sue. Apologies. But there's some porters like right up here. My precise pointing. Oh, and there are some people kind of there. And this is what it looked like. A string of porters and hikers all following each other one by one up the rock. But the thing with the Baranco Wall, it's like scrambling up the rock. So this is the part where it is just walking. But some of it you are literally on your hands and knees and hands and feet. And looking back where the guy with the yellow top on is, that is the Kissing Rock. So everything that we had to do, the porters have to do with 20 kilograms on their back. Now, the Kissing Rock is where you're basically told, face the rock, put your hands on the rock, don't look down, and sidle along till you get to the other side. I think it's about 10 or 20 metres, and there's no way of avoiding that. And you can see why it's called Kissing Rock. And there's the camp. That's where we've come from today. But what a view. I have to say, the Baranco Wall, without question, was my favourite part of the whole 8 days on the mountain. I found it fun. It takes about an hour, or it took us about an hour to get up there. At one point, we were told that someone had just fallen, which was kind of a little disconcerting, to say the least. They were fine. They went on and they carried on and finished the climb, apparently. First frost. That was the first bit of frost we saw that morning. But you can see the sheer number of people who have to get through that gap. It's quite a steady stream. Could I look any more pleased with myself? Day 5. We've just made it to the top of the Baranco Wall. Hands, feet, climbing, scrambling. But look at this view, it's amazing. Really feel now like we're on the top of Africa. But look, there's the mountain. Still looking really high. But look at that. So day 5. I lied earlier, we weren't at the top of the Baranco Wall. Been scrambling up rocks, doing the Kissing Rock, which is basically where you don't look down and you just hug the rock and you pray, really. But look at this. Oh, well worth it for this view. And the summit getting ever closer. Amazing. I was so proud of myself for making it up there, especially because I enjoyed the day so much. The altitude can do funny things with your head. A lying down video for a change. Amazing perspective. Bridget, how do you feel?
I'm so happy. Really. Amazing. Amazing.
And then we start moving again. So there's the top behind us, and now we're starting to go across to Karanga Camp. Now the summit is looking closer. But the weather comes in again, the cloud comes in. It's like walking in nowhere else I've ever been to on earth, I have to say. And what goes up must come down, and we went back down, climbing over all these rocks into the valley before we got to our final resting spot prior to the last walk up the hill to get to the other side, which is where Karanga Camp is situated. So this is the bottom of the valley. So we've just climbed down all of those rocks, and then we've got to climb up that side, which is way steeper than it looks. And then finally we get to Karanga Camp, which, apart from Barafu, the base camp, I think this is the bleakest place. It doesn't look appealing, does it? And that's our little tent. Home for 8 days with my backpack. Home sweet home for the night. Oh, and that's our toilet tent. I would advise anyone to get a toilet tent if you can, by the way. It's well worth the money just to know you've got your private toilet and it's not far away, especially if you need it in the night, which you really don't want to do. Manage your water intake accordingly. It's lovely, Bridget.
Refugee camp.
So day 6. Day 6 was the day we headed to base camp, with the summit night being ever more close. Yet another beautiful morning on the mountain. And this bit of footage, I think, gives a really good understanding of the kind of speed you take the mountain. It is slower than is almost comfortable. The words they use are pole pole. You hear those everywhere on the mountain, and that basically means slowly, slowly in Swahili. But this is a short walk, only 4 kilometres, takes 3 to 4 hours, and base camp is at 4,700 metres. And again, we're in alpine desert all the way. The summit, both resplendent and very ominous at this stage. And just as we kind of hit the crest, I'm looking a bit tired, obviously. This is where the rain started. You can see it on the lens there. It was windy and it was raining, and the rain was literally horizontal. It was like having icy daggers being put into my face that morning. That was really not pleasant walking. It's like walking on the moon. The important thing about this particular part is that the last piece of water that you can get fresh water from for drinking and all of our other cooking needs is down at the previous place. So all the porters have to go down and collect all the water that you need for your camp and bring it all the way back up. So that's below the previous camp. And here is base camp. Day 6.
Yay!
We made it. We're at base. We had to wait there for an hour because obviously the porters need to take all of your stuff down, walk and then put it all back up again. And so because it's such a short walk, our timings were a lot closer. So there is our tent. So we had to wait there for an hour and it was really cold hour. So I really hope you enjoyed taking on this journey with me in part 2 of my Lemosho Kilimanjaro hike. If you like this video and you like this format, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment to let me know. If you really like it, then press the red button and subscribe. It would be great to have you on board the Sue Where Why What journey. And there's a new video every Friday of my travels around the world. And finally, if you really like it and want to be one of the first to see any new videos, then press the bell and you'll get a notification. Thank you so much for joining me on the journey.